Hello all. Welcome to Crafty Things by Che. Hi, I'm Che. And it's been a minute since I've created a video under the new name since we rebranded from Tre Desmo. So again, welcome all. Same content, different name. So we're going to jump right into it. Today we're going to make Hat Lady Diva. They're very popular, especially with Mother's Day coming up. So let's get started. First and foremost, what you're going to need for these Hat Lady Diva charger plates is the charger. These sizes are typically 13 by 13 inch chargers. You can get them from Hobby Lobby, which is relatively inexpensive, $1.99. You can get them from the Dollar Tree, $1.25. You can get them from Michael's. Of course, you can get them from Amazon. Charger plates. Charger plates first. You're going to need, and this is going to come later on, these placemats. That's going to be the hat. You see, this is a beautiful purple color. I ordered this off of Amazon. And first, let me say, too, right off the bat, everything that I list is going to be in the links in the comments. So you don't have to ask, well, hey, where'd you get that from? I include every supply I use in the comments. So this is off of Amazon. Nice, pretty purple color. But we'll get to that in a second. Right now, we're at the charger plate. And we're going to attach the Diva image to the charger plate. Now, for the Diva ladies, remove the charger plate. I have already printed them out and laminated them. I would have done that for this video, but since this is going to be such a detailed video, I didn't want to go through every single step. Please refer to one of my previous videos, and I'll put it here somewhere as I'm pointing around in editing that video, because that's where I go into detail about how you can place these images. They're 8.5 by 11 sizes. Print them out. Use the Laminate Machine and laminating paper and use it as such. So this is that step that I got to when I printed them out. I made 2 of these because one is bigger than the other. Well, I didn't size it right when I was first doing it, but I'm still going to use her for something because that's a good Diva and I don't want to waste it. So it's like, which Diva do you want to use? They're all beautiful. And here I did the same thing. I did these 2 Divas. They're different sizes. One is larger than the other. And we're going to use the larger size for charger plates. But because we said we were going to do purple, we're going to do one of my most favorite Divas. We're going to use her for this charger plate. And I did not do the step completely because the next step after you print it out and laminate it would be to cut around her and cut all this excess plastic off. So I'm going to do that real quick. And I'm going to speed through this part. Because again, it's good to have a good sharp pair of scissors. Okay, I just got finished cutting her out. So I got as close as I could without going into the design. Because if you go look at my previous videos, the part that you're going to be going into the design on is before you laminate it. So it could be close. This is just to make sure that it's protected. So got as close as I could. Here you go. Now for a quick preview, when she gets on the plate, this is what she's going to look like. Okay, my glue gun is heated up. And I just have a standard glue gun. There's nothing fancy about it. It's a full size. I bought it from Joann Fabrics a while ago. So you can pretty much purchase any type of glue gun. It's a high heat glue gun. The glue sticks I'm using, I bought these from Hobby Lobby. They're called Sure Bonder clear sticks. I used to use Gorilla Glue, and I still do, but I didn't have any Gorilla Glue sticks available, so I use these, and actually it works great. It's no name brand. You don't have to spend as much money, and it's very strong. So I bought them from Hobby Lobby. They also have them at Walmart. This was 20 sticks for $4.99. Full-size sticks. Full-size glue gun. And, of course, there's their clear E6000. I could use white if I wanted to, because technically I do have some white I need to use up what I bought by accident. Maybe we will. Hold on, I'm going to go grab that white. Now, as I was saying, I usually use the clear E6000, but because I bought this white E6000 by accident, not reading the package, for this Diva, we're going to use this because I need to use it up. White. And the only reason why, again, I'm using the white is because you're not going to be able to see the E6000, period. It's going to be hidden, so it doesn't really matter. And this time I'm going to set it on the plate. So how I attach it, this is kind of raggedy looking, but I need some more clips. I use clips. I bought these a long time ago from the Dollar Tree, and you see they don't hold up worth of nothing really. And I haven't even used them that much. So if you want some good clips, you can get them from somewhere else. Amazon perhaps. But how I do anyway, make sure when you put the hot glue on the Divas, here's a tip. Don't put it anywhere that's going to be exposed that's not. Put it where you're going to cover it up with roses or with the hat. Because, and I explained that, if you go back to my previous video, I just put hot glue all over the place. Well, that's not a good thing. So I've changed that process, because when you put hot glue on the other side where you can see it, you can actually see the trails where you had the hot glue at. It's like it's heating up the laminate. It's not doing anything to it. It didn't ruin it, but I'm a perfectionist when it comes to my projects. I try to be, so I try to learn from things. So I'm telling you, believe me, do not put the hot glue where it's going to be uncovered. So with that being said, I want to place it, and the hat's going to go here. I might bring it down just a tad bit. Okay. The hat's going to be here. You just want to picture it on there. I need another clamp. I'll put it right here, just to hold it in place temporarily. In case you ever wanted to know what white E6000 looks like, that's what it looked like. And I believe it dries white, so again, we don't care. So I'm going to start in this corner, move it in the camera. And I'm just see, I added some here. And I'm going to make a tad bit of a mess. And I'm just adding a pinch of hot glue with that and putting it on the plate. The purpose of the hot glue, look at that mess. Please wipe up messes automatically. The purpose of the hot glue is to make sure you're holding it in place. Okay, so now we're going to go to the other side and do the same thing. And mind you, I'm putting it here because this is going to be covered by roses. So add your E6000. Just dab of hot glue. Place it on the plate. Put a little clamp. Now I do want to add some to make it flat to the plate. And of course we're going to put it up here. But I'm going to add a dab. I'm going to cover this up. So I'm not going to put the hot glue necessarily. I'm just going to... This E6000 getting all over the place. I'm going to put a dab over here. To hold that down. And then right here in the corner with the dab of hot glue. And try not, you know, those hot glue strings are crazy. So try not to get it, even though the Diva's protected, it still to save you some cleanup because it's not 100% protective. And hot glue strings might damage the laminate. I may have my clamp back. And we're going to let that sit for a few minutes. It doesn't take long. And we're going to move on to the next step. Okay, it's been a few minutes. And I also added a little gem tack thing to try to hold where I put the E6000 behind the ear. And it's not completely, you know, of course, good. I might add something else to it, you know, when I get done doing this next step. Because now you're going to have time for it to sit because the next step is to make the hat. Anyway, so with this step, just to finish off what we just did, I'm just going to trim a little bit off the bottom because you don't want pointy ends. So I'm just making it even, or not even, but not pointing off the edge of the plate. And the hot glue is doing this work, so you could pretty much remove the clamps. And I want you to lay flat. We'll finish her off in a second with the bottle, but let's see what we're going to do with the hat. Sometimes these come with tags. Of course, you want to remove the tags. And I want to see what hat design. So I'm going back to a previous, because I've used this Diva several times. I'm going to go back to a previous look so I can tell you how I want to do the hat real quick. Okay. So for this Diva, and there's no specific way that you just look at your Diva and decide how you think that their hat's going to look. So for this particular Diva, I like to, let me see, I want to recreate something I've done before. This looks pretty good, something like that. And it's just doing your creativity. I like to fold it many different ways. Going in the way that what looks good for her. And to me, a hat like this looks pretty good. And all I did was fold it like that, like a quarter of the way, and then I flipped it over. You don't want the hat too big, even though I've made huge hats before. But you got to consider when you're packing it up, say if you're packing it or moving it or whatever, you don't want the hat to be too big off the charger plate because it can rip this way. Even though when we put this on, I'm going to show you a way that I do it that it's really hard to move the hat off. So I'm thinking a hat like this, it's hard to do these videos. I'm gonna have to, I have a desk back here that I need to use because I'm trying to show you on my little tiny crafting desk and it's kind of hard. But I think this hat right here works out for her. I like it. So we're gonna use it. So once you get the way you want the hat to look, I'm just temporarily, I'm not putting the hat on the plate. I'm just gonna let it sit there like that and mull over if this is how I want it. And I think this is good because we're going to put the flowers bunch here. We're going to trim it. You put a gold trim around it. And we'll probably add a flower, a diamond medallion here. It's going to work out good. So this is going to be the hat for the Diva. There. That's going to be her hat. It works out. It's not too far off the back. We're going to peel its ceiling on the other side. That's good to go. So once you decide on how the hat's going to look, now you can actually hot glue the hat so it'll stay in place. Not to the plate yet. We're going to do it separate. So watch and learn. Now I'm still holding the hat. I just took it off the plate. I'm still holding it the way I want it. So I'm just going to flatten it out with my hands. And if you're interested, let me know. And we could do some more Hat Lady Diva charger plate videos. And I'll show you different divas so that way you can see different ways to style the hats. If you're interested, let me know. This is just one way that I like to do it. So now that we've pretty much kind of folded it, we want to secure the look. So we're going to take our glue gun. Please don't burn yourself. I swear, every video I make, I end up burning myself. Don't be me. And I'm just applying the initial glue. Ooh, my nails look like a couple of videos I actually had my nails done. I had to stop doing that for a while because I tried to remove the acrylics myself and I ruined my nail bed. So anyway, you got to bear with me until my nails grow back out. Sorry, little sidebar combo. I need some more glue gun. I need some more glue. But anyway, so what we're doing is we're taking different parts And we're just hot gluing the hat down so it stands on its own. Anywhere where it lifts up. So our hat's looking pretty good right now. This is what it's looking like. Okay. Now, as I mentioned, we're doing purple and gold. So I want to add some gold trim to the hat. If you want to, you can add purple around the rim, but we want contrast. I'll have links to some ideas where you can get these strips. They also sell them in the Dollar Tree. I don't get them from the Dollar Tree though, but you can. Like here's another concept. If you were doing like lime or something, I wouldn't do purple and lime, but I'm just trying to give you some ideas. I've done purple and red before for like the red hat ladies concept. But these came from Michael's. Anywho, so all I'm gonna do is cut. This is a pretty big strip. I'm cutting it lengthwise, one of the strips, because it only takes one, but you could do as many rows as you want. And I'm going to take it, my glue of choice, Gem Tack, and just line the hat. I'm going to place the Gem Tack and just give it a brim like that. Okay, we put the gold trim down, and I promise it's going to look better than this when the white glue dries. You know how Gem Tack does. I think the most painful pain in the butt part about this is getting the ends to lay down. But again, that happens when you hold it for a minute and the glue starts to dry. But just tacking them to fold over the sides, I think that's probably the most irritating part of this. So, but we got it to work. So here we are. This is what it looks like with the trim. Of course, you can add more trim if you want. At one Diva I did, I added like a row, a double row going here, and then you got your guides in here. You can do that if you want. I don't feel like doing that right now, but you can add several rows if you want. But just remember, the flowers got to go somewhere, so you don't want to do too many. But the double row was cute, but again, we're not going to do that on this Diva. So now it's time for the flowers. Most of my flowers come from Amazon. Of course, you could go and get them from Hobby Lobby. Michael sells flowers. You can also get some on a lesser extent from the Dollar Tree. Sometimes they have nice ones. Family Dollar, if you want to go that low-end route. I have made divas with flowers from the Dollar Tree and Family Dollar. Rarely. I think it's like when I was starting out. But now that the quality has to be a little bit better, I do go through Amazon. And these are the gold flowers that I have. See, they're real. They come like, you know, just the stem part, which is all you need. Nice, full, thick flowers. This is another type of flower that I got from Amazon. It's not, all these are like a mixture. You have the big ones that come together. I threw some of these little ones in there. That's from a different order. And also these medium-sized ones. But I like this, the way this netting is on here. So I use these for my golds. And then this is a different vendor, NT Netting. N&T Kneading. I don't know if I'm saying that right. And these, we don't need these leaves. I'm throwing them in the garbage. They come like this with this vendor, and these are going to be, I have glue on my hand. These are going to be the purple flowers. There you see, this is brand new. I haven't even opened the package. Because I went to Hobby Lobby, I went to Michael's, and I did not find purple flowers. I mean, they had some, but I wanted purple roses, and they didn't have like a vine of them like I like to buy them when I go to Hobby Lobby. Then they were like in bushels, and to me, they were too expensive. So these, they're like foam flowers, and they come looking like that. They're real pretty. They're for like bouquets. They come with the long stems. We're going to cut those off. But I thought they were really pretty. You're going to see how they're going to look on here. And I got plenty of them, so of course I'm going to make another purple diva. I might just make a straight purple one instead of mixing colors. But anyway, those are the flowers we're working with. I don't know what that is. So, what you're going to need, and this is another product list, it's be good to get some of these wire snippers. I don't need them for the gold flowers. I need them for these purple, just to snip off the wire stem. And I'm going to be careful and fold it down like that. Because this is the only part we need. So I'm going to do that for a couple of these. Fold it down. These are going to be like hot glued down. Fold it down. We'll start off with, see what 3 of the purples and 2 of the golds look like. This is just for the hat now. And I'm not going to use the big one. I use the medium-sized one. We might not even use all those right now. But this diva is going to be majority purple with touches of gold. But you see, as many gold as we had, we could have did a gold diva with touches of purple, but we're not going to do all that. Well, I want a purple one. So we have our stems, throw them away. Here's our purple flowers. Here's our gold flowers. Let's just do the hat. And as you see, the glue's starting to dry already. Make sure our ends are still sticking, and they are. Gotta keep checking them. Make sure they don't pop up. I don't want them to dry like that. We're going to place 2 purple flowers. So it looks like that's all we'll need. So I said 3 purple and 2 gold. 2 purple and 1 gold should be enough for the top part, because it just pops. So here's our glue stick. Again, I want to lay it here like that. So I'm just going to put a nice generous amount of glue down first, about that much. And I'm just going to sit these on top of the glue. And we're going to reinforce these once we get them down. And see, I just placed them on there with the glue stick. And they're not sturdy right now. So we're going to put our gold flower right here. So I'm using my glue stick, my glue gun, and I'm just going to add some glue and stick that right in that corner. And I'm going to hold it down for a few. Now, only thing I'm going to do, I'm not going to pull it up too much because it's still heat. I'm just going to go around the sides. Don't burn yourself. And just add some glue to reinforce the hole. Just add some glue to the sides and press it down. And not crush it, just press it. It doesn't take a lot of pressure. I'm going to go under the rose or the gold a little bit. Add some glue. And I'm just reinforcing it. Might go in between them. And I'm adding glue to all 3 of the flowers in the middle and letting it sit there. It's going to be like Fort Knox after it cools. I mean, unless if somebody goes and pulls it, that's the only way that you're going to really get these off of there, and then you'll damage the whole thing. Now, see, I touched the glue by accident, so my fingers burning. See what I'm talking about? Now I have string, so I need to pull that off now while it's still drying, because I touched the inside. So I'm going to quit touching it for a minute. So next step, we're going to pull our Diva back out on the charger plate. And she's had time to, well, the glue E6000 hasn't dried completely, of course. That takes a while, maybe overnight, but by tomorrow it's going to be Fort Knox trying to lift her up. But see, that's the beauty of using hot glue at the same time when you're using, if it was E6000, you'd have to really take long breaks. But because we're using the hot glue to tack stuff down at the same time, you could really continuously work. Although I'm pausing this video in certain spots, I've been continuously sitting here doing these steps. So that's a good thing. So we're going to add the hat now. So you got to look based off of what we did, how we want to put the hat. I like her hats going down here to the side, and I like to cover this much of her head. So I think that's a perfect placement right there. So here we go with my raggedy clamps. When you decide where you want the hat at. I had another clamp. Oh, here it is. Now don't, when you're putting it on, if you haven't let this edge dry, try not to touch the edge because you don't want the clamp to take the wet glue off still. But now that we've clamped her, that's what we're looking like. So now how I attach the hat, I swear, I promise y'all, I'm gonna move my desk to something bigger. Oh, that was good. Okay, now how I attach the hat is we're gonna still use the combination of the E6000 and the hot glue. Okay, where's that? We could use the white E6000 still. That's the white, because this isn't going to show either. So all I'm doing, I'm going to lift this end up. Remember where you wanted it. This leaking. And I'm going to add the E6000 to the bottom side. Like that. Generous amount. Give me some hot glue, just a little bit. Carefully place it back down, because this is going to be where you're going to have the placement at. You don't want, once you place it down on the lady, you don't want to keep moving it around now because you done put the glue on there. And that, see, you don't want to move it around anymore. So know when you're going to place it down where you're putting it. This is where it'd be good to get some good clamps. Okay. Let's do the other side. And it's not really, because we did the E6. Look, I got some of that E6000 fill. Get it while it's still wet. And I'm just going to add some on this end now. That looks crazy, don't it? That white glue. I don't know why I'd say that though, because the Gem Tack is white, but I'm not used to E6000 being white. And I'm just adding a dab of hot glue to the side so it can hold it and help hold it in place. Put my clamp back. Now this is where, if I had something heavy, I would place it on there and let it sit for a minute. Or you can keep on working through. Just be careful not to move the hat anymore, because we want to keep it going. So far, so good. We're working it. Okay. Now, what I've learned since my last Diva charger plate video, I like to reinforce the hat to the plate. Okay. So what I do is and you're not going all the way down here. Remember I said don't get hot glue near the Diva back? Well, you're not. What you're going to do is add some hot glue to this inside rim and press it on there. And then you're going to add a layer right on the outside so it's like hooking it in place. I hope you can see it from the camera angle. So I'll demonstrate that. And also, while I'm doing this, I don't want to push the flowers out the way, so I need another glue stick. Might as well arm myself with one now so I can just show you what I'm talking about. I don't want to stop to reload. So I'm taking the back and I'm pressing, I'm gluing. I'm adding some glue right in here, right inside this rim right here. And I'm going to press it on the plate. I got some on the clamp. We don't want to do that. So see there? Nothing got on the other side of the Diva face. It just all fell within the back part right here. And I'm going to hold that on there to make sure. Look, I got some hot glue on my finger. You got to be careful, I swear. Get off of there. I'm trying not to touch the roses either because I don't want to pull them up. It's not completely, well, actually it is pretty sturdy on there now. It doesn't take the hot glue long. See, that's a pretty good strong hold right there, even though it hasn't turned white yet, but I'm not gonna mess with it. I'm just holding it on there. Make sure it's flush with the plate. Remove this clamp. And next, then I'm taking a roll. This is already done it right on this side. See how it's overlapping with the plate? So I don't need to do that end, but I'm gonna do it so it's also gripping the back of the plate. All the way to the end, or almost to the end. So it's creating a hold. To the back of the plate. Now that might not be the prettiest thing, but it's the most secure for what I've noticed in the ones I do. And who's really looking at the back of the plate? Seriously. All the beauty's in the front, right? So that's how you secure your hat to the plate where you don't have to worry about it ripping to the front if you're packing it for... I promise I won't be this clumsy when I'm doing it without being on video. Thank God it wasn't hot. But I just created a heck of a string. Okay. Hot glue, right? But yeah, so I'm not going to lay that down because I don't want it to stick. I'll get this hot glue off my finger. So right now we're ready to move on to the flowers. Now for this particular diva, I like to leave some of the shirt open because I like to rhinestone her shirt. And you'll see that. Other divas, you can cover her shoulders completely. For this one, I'm not going to do that. So we're going to move on to the flower part. As soon as I can put this down, it's starting to turn white now. And won't have to worry about it messing up the glue. Now, here's the fun part. Adding the flowers to the shirt. Since we said this was going to be the majority purple, we're going to grab a bunch of them. Do the same thing we did at the hat. Take our wire clippers. Clip the stems off. Bend the stem. We'll start off with a couple of these. So I'm going to start with, I like to go out some because like I mentioned, I want to bling the collar. So I'm going to make a glue puddle here and stick the first two flowers out here. So right here. You see, I'm just adding a nice little puddle. Be careful of your strings. And I'm going to set my first two flowers on that puddle. And hold it in place for a few. And be careful because when it's also hot on the back too, the heat goes through to the other side. I just felt the warmth on my fingers. And see, I have a nice little collar space. And again, this is just specific for this diva. Okay. I want to add a gold. I'm going to add another purple. I want enough so I can have quite a bit of the shoulder space. And as I'm going, I'm moving. So I'm going to put a gold right here. Need another glue stick in a minute. So I'm going to add a nice little puddle in between the two. And push that gold right up in there while holding the purples in place. And we're going to reinforce all these in a minute. I like these gold ones because they're full. They're super full. And I'm still wanting to keep my sleeve or my collar. So let's add some more purple. We're going to lift the gold up a little bit and we're going to add a purple right there. You like to see how it's coming together. So we'll move on to the blinging of the shirt. Now, the blinging of the shirt. I purchased these 5mm resin rhinestones, purple, from Azarex. It's not a full bag now because of course I've used it. This was a shop on Etsy, and it contained 30,000 stones. So pretty much the bag was up to here, and I've used all these. I've done several projects. Oh, please don't let me spill these. But these are purple rhinestones. You can use resin, you can use glass, what have you. I usually go with resin stones. They're less expensive, and to me, they're just as pretty. I mean, people argue me up and down saying they prefer glass stones over resin. But that's also why I'm able to charge less for my products, because I don't use glass. But to me, you still get the same beautiful type of shine. So anyway, these are purple resin rhinestones. So the only thing I'm going to do with this step is I'm going to add gem tack to the spots on the shirt that you can see, and apply the purple to the purple shirt. So I'm going to try to maneuver the camera so you can see what I'm doing. Hopefully you can. After this step, we're going to take a break because definitely at some point you got to stop working and let the stuff dry, even though we've been continuously doing what we've done so far. But this is glue now, it's not hot glue. So yeah, you want to give it a chance to dry, or else you'll be moving stones all over the place. So I'm applying. And don't take a whole lot. Please don't oversaturate this, or else your stones will get to moving around. It's like, to me, like liquid fusion. Even though I think I will do a project with liquid fusion so you guys can see how to apply, because that's also a technique, doing liquid fusion. That's why I don't use it that often, because to me, gem tack is easier. Except you're just dealing with the white. But you see how I added that? Grab my pickup stick. I also have a link to this pickup stick. It's kind of expensive though. I really don't like advertising it. You're paying like $30-something, but you get 2 of them. But I've had these for years, so they last 2 at the same time. But I'm just applying the rhinestones to the shirt. Applied the purple stones. See, as you can see, it's still wet. I went as far in as I could without gluing the flowers. I'm telling you, when the glue dries, it's going to be brilliant. You will see. There's the purple stones. So the other parts that's left to bling now is, again, the little ear cuff. We could do that with gold and the gold necklace chain. And if we put on the hat. So I'm telling you, this is so close to being done. It's like, if I just went on ahead and went straight through, I'd be working on this for another 30 minutes probably, and it'd be finished. But again, I do want to give the purple a chance to dry some before we move on to the next step. Well, we can do one little piece. And that's going to be adding the jewelry to the hat because it's so far away from here. The last thing we'll do is the ear cuff and the necklace after the purple dries. So for the earring, I'll put the lid on the glue, or the hat jewelry. If you go to a short that I just did recently, it was a craft tip, and somewhere I'm pointing at it in this video. It was telling you to go get the buttons from Hobby Lobby because they make good as sewology buttons. They make beautiful jewelry for your divas. And so here's a purple one that I found at Hobby Lobby. Or here's a nice, real pretty one, but of course we're doing purple and gold, so this isn't really going to match. And technically this doesn't either because it's silver, but I'm not going to get that technical with it, so we're going to use this for the hat. Because I couldn't find a purple and gold one. So it's just a button, a real fancy button that costs only $1.99, even though it's listed as $3.79. But you're either paying 99 cents or you're paying $1.99, and that's the everyday price. So see, these buttons have little backings, so it's not bad. You can add them to this fabric. And you could even get your wire clippers and clip that off some to make it even flatter, depending on what you're using it for. Like I could use it, glued it down, and used it as the earring. But since we have this ear cuff, I want to do the full ear cuff. So what we could do is add this to the hat right here. In that spot right there. And it glues nicely to it. Let's see if I can find something with gold in it, but like I said, I'm not going to get that technical. I still think it's pretty. Just like it is. So for this, we're going to use E6000, but we're going to use the clear E6000, not the white. Especially since I'm not 100% sure that the white dries clear. I really don't think it does, and it doesn't. So we're going to use the clear E6000. And all I'm doing is, I'm going to squeeze it out. I haven't used this E6000 in a minute. Get the little cap off of there. And what I said, I want to place it right here. But I'm going to put a gob of it. Not a lot, just enough to be able to hold that button in place. And put it on there. Just hold it on there. And this is where a clip Actually, it's not going to work out because my clip isn't long enough. It's enough to hold it down. So when that dries, it'll be stuck to it. I wish the clip had been able to be long enough. I really would have liked to have that. It's not. So we'll trust the process that that's going to adhere. And we'll find out in the morning. Good morning, everyone. It's the next day. So when you get to look at it the next day after the glue has had a chance to clear up and settle, you get to look and see if there's any like imperfections that you want to correct or anything. So I'm just going to show you what we're looking like now. So as you see, the Gem Tack glue dried clear around our rim, so that looks 100% better. The E6000 clear, it adhered the little button to the hat. Here's our flowers. I love these gold ones. I love the purple too, but I like that deep purple look. But I just love the gold texture, and it has that shine to it. But anyway, and then there's our rhinestones on the shirt. And you see I went as far deep into the roses as I could with the rhinestones so it gets that bling. So the last step we have now is to put gold rhinestones on the leaves. And I'm going to use 5mm. And then I'm going to put 3mm, like a smaller, to outline the necklace. So it's going to be the same process we used for the rhinestones, just laying the glue and picking them up and putting them down. So that would be it. I don't plan on adding anything else to her face or anything like that. The hat's good enough that I don't want to overkill. That's my designs. I don't overkill the artwork. So I'll be back when I've applied the gold stones. Just added the bling to the ear cuff and the neckline. And that, my people, we are done. Next time I shoot the shot, it's going to be when this is completely dry and you will see the finished product. Gem Tack really dries pretty quick. So this is with the bling on the neck. And there's the ear fob or whatever it's called, ear cuff. So this is our finished diva. Feel free to add extras if you want to, but I think this is perfect the way she is. Somebody wants to put a name, they can, or they can ask you or whatever to put some vinyl with a little curve on there and add a name to it in the open space and whatnot. But this is the perfect Mother's Day present. And the vendor that I'm going to tag on the video where I get these images from, it's multiracial. So they have Caucasian women, Latinas, of course, African Americans, what have you. You could pretty much find any type of race on this artwork and find what design you want to go with. So it's a vendor on Etsy. I can't say the name, Humi Moo, I think, or something like that, but you'll see it in the tags in the details of the video. So as usual, thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll have more content like this and other little craft projects. Thanks for watching.